Test is sponsored by We Are Wrestling. You can find
Make sure to subscribe, baby.
Hey. What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host, the best one, Donnie, here with...
What's going on, everybody? Danny Huckins here, man. One half of the We Are Wrestling Talk Show, man.
What's going on, guys? Special guest Ben here. How y'all doing? It's good to see you again, you wrestling fucking maniacs. We have a good show ahead of us tonight. So, Don, what's going on, man? What's on the plate today?
Oh yeah, so today we are going to be talking about our favorite ladder matches. We are going to be looking back at some of the best ladder matches, of course, and, you know, have a nice little discussion on this week's episode of the We Are Wrestling Talk Show. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, the best way to support this channel is by hitting that subscribe button now, turning on the post notifications, videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO, and of course you already know, the grind is real. And before we get into our topics for the latter topic this week, I recommend We Are Wrestling Maniacs, if you have the Instagram app, to go follow us at We Are Wrestling. We have lots of exclusive content going on there. We're trying to post daily, and we're just doing fun little things like, you know, a few days ago, we did a whole thing based on our birthday. If a wrestler, each month had a different wrestler, and then for our birthday, would they be a good tag team partner for us? So we're doing really fun stuff over there, so if you guys are on Instagram, go check that out.
Me and Don we're safe for our tag team partners. I got the Beast Incarnate. He got the head of the table. Who you got, Donnie?
Yep, I'm safe. I got friggin' Brock as well. I'm November as well.
Oh, yeah. What day again?
November 8th.
November 8th on the 29th. That's right. All right, cool.
Hey.
This is like WrestleMania 38 all over again, man.
Hell fucking yeah, dude. But there's two of us, bitch. We taking those titles.
Yep,
There's a title for both of us.
Instead of the Roman versus Brock match that we've gotten 100 times, it's going to be a tag match. We're going to have Danny and Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, and then with Donnie as their manager.
Oh, yes, Paul Heyman.
We got a good mouthpiece, man. We're good. We don't gotta say shit. We just gotta
By
get
the
the
way,
work done.
I gotta say, Donnie, I love the U.S. title hanging behind you.
I do love that shit,
Oh,
man.
yeah, so a really cool story about this U.S. title that I have behind me.
All right, let's
That
talk
was
about
actually my first ever replica championship as a kid.
Really? The U.S.
I
title?
actually got that. I got that for my birthday back in 2004.
Was this something that you were like, was that like a championship that you like admired like heavily or?
Yes, John Cena, man. That was his first championship.
Good shit. They didn't have the spinner or anything or?
Yeah, so the spinner belt at the time, that was like the dream, but they didn't have it until 05, of course.
Yeah, that's right.
They had the US spinner, but I didn't get that until like 06.
Yeah.
But this is how beat up this championship is. Oh, look at
It's old, man. It's a relic,
Yep.
man. That needs to be in a fucking display case, brother.
Yes, sir.
And you got it on the hook, man. Good shit.
Yeah, to cover up the pipe back here, you know, there's a little bit of
It's eerie.
construction going on right now.
It's eerie as fuck that we're talking ladder matches tonight and you already got that shit hanging up. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny.
Figure.
Eerie shit, man. Eerie shit.
Yeah,
but,
so Danny, since you follow the wrestling news, let's talk about some wrestling news that's been going on. Like, let's have a little bit of a discussion before we get into the ladder stuff.
Alrighty, so as you know, Kushida, they didn't offer him a contract and he decided not to re-sign with WWE. So I'm kind of curious to see where he goes. I don't think he's a fit for AEW. I do think he's probably going to end up in New Japan or Impact personally. Where do you think he's going to go?
Probably New Japan.
Can I just say something?
What's up?
This might be kind of mean, but who is this guy?
He did really good in New Japan.
He was in New Japan for a while. He got put on the NXT roster a couple years ago.
It was kind of lackluster for him, though, compared to New Japan.
Damn, I'm going to have to definitely do some research.
They hired him a couple of years ago back when they were trying to hire a lot of like different variety of talent. They tried to push him into the main event scene or whatever and give him a championship. And it didn't really work out. I think he did NXT UK too, if I remember correctly, because he hasn't really been doing anything on TV.
It's like a language barrier almost, right? It's like he would be good with like an actual mouthpiece that isn't like Paul Heyman-esque, but more of like along like the professional, like almost promoter standpoint.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
As far as other news, this is probably a discussion that you guys will be able to chime into a little bit. So Fightful Select, Sean Ross Sapp, man, is reporting, and he's talked to some higher ups in WWE
Yes.
about this whole Alexa Bliss situation.
Okay.
Oh,
All right,
I'm
yeah,
excited about
can get
this.
some
I
feedback on
do
that.
want to say some things.
So
All
for
right.
those
I'm
of you that
excited.
don't know and don't really follow up with the news or whatever, Alexa Bliss, she hasn't been seen since February, since the Elimination Chamber show.
And
She's
that was
really
cut short.
She's really upset about the creative direction for her character in WWE. They even at one point offered her a spot in the Belair and Lynch match at Mania for the women's title, and she turned it down reluctantly.
Can I just say, like, do you really blame her?
I don't blame
Honestly.
her. She must be really upset if she's
Yeah,
going to
she
turn
turned
down
down
a
a main
championship
event
match.
Mania match. So like,
I don't blame her at all whatsoever
And
about this.
before we really dive deep
It's
into the
gonna be bad.
discussion, she is still under contract. Everybody's speculating maybe she's out of a contract. Her contract is running through 2023, so she's not going to be. Her contract's not going to be expiring for quite a while yet.
No, but if they want to keep her, they're gonna have to do something.
Yeah, she's really upset about the creative direction that she's going. I mean, apparently she was hoping that she was going to go back to the, her original gimmick, the goddess at Elimination Chamber, and
As she should.
WWE didn't want to pull the trigger on it for whatever reason.
Yeah, like, I'll admit, the only cool thing about the Alexa Bliss Elimination Chamber thing was, like I said, I think a few times now, that swing spot. Her in the chamber with the swing, that was the only cool thing. Besides that,
Yeah,
I never liked this character change by Alexa Bliss.
I liked her when she was with the Fiend, but once the Fiend was gone, they should have just scrapped it and found a creative way to get out of it. Like that therapy session should have gone on a little longer, and they should have done more with it. I think that I think all in all, what WWE is suffering with is a lot of these characters that have been on screen need a lot of reinventing. They need repackaging, 100%. And Alexa Bliss is one of them.
And what I find really crazy is that Paul Heyman, they have Paul Heyman under contract.
Yeah.
And if there's one guy that can definitely reinvent you, it's Paul Heyman. Look at Stone Cold Steve Austin back in ECW in '95. They repackaged him, and he became the Rattlesnake.
He used to be the Ringmaster, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then at King of the Ring, 1996, he did the infamous Austin 316.
Baby. But when it comes to this Alexa Bliss character change, that's what I really thought with the therapy sessions it was going to go back to her goddess character, which I really don't understand why they dropped that character in the first place. She was absolutely killing it. She had that moment of bliss segments, which I thought were very entertaining. And it was different because not a lot of the female wrestlers on the WWE roster had like a talk show like that. So it was very different. Also, she was winning multiple world champions as well during this. And it's like, why fix something that's not broken?
The only thing I can say about it, before you chime in, Ben, is they wanted to see what other options that she had. You know what I mean? If you do the same character year after year after year after year, only a certain amount of people
but
are
you
able
can
to do
tweak
that.
it though.
You're gonna end up like the Flairs if you keep doing the same thing year after year. Like Ric Flair was the same fucking dude forever. Like that got boring as shit. Charlotte Flair is on the same boat, boring as shit. Like a lot of these characters need reinventions. Sasha Banks could go through a fucking non-boss reinvention. Maybe I'd be interested. I just
Bailey with her. She cut her hair.
I just want to say,
her reinvention was incredible.
Real quick, speaking of Sasha Banks, one thing I definitely recommend you, Ben, to watch, and I really do want you to watch this when you have the free time. There's a new series on Peacock on WWE Network. It's called Evil. Watch Sasha Banks episode, and then we can have a little bit of a discussion about Sasha Banks being fourth instead of first.
But I liked when the Fiend was very prevalent and they brought in Alexa Bliss, to sort of like give energy to the character, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I didn't totally hate it, but what I did hate was the fact that, you know, they pretty much used Bray Wyatt up, got him out of the company, but yet still continued to use the gimmick on Alexa Bliss that he
making
made
profits
famous
off of it. That to
and
me
it's not
was
working and
definitely
it's
messed up.
backfiring.
Dude, they were still selling Fiend stuff on WWE Shop 6 months after they released them.
Yeah. And it's like, again, you know, it's funny that Alexa Bliss is very unhappy now, because when she first started doing it, she was talking about that it was the most fun she's ever had. And now that she's, you know, super unhappy, it begs the question, you know, like, what's going on? You know, it's Alexa Bliss. That was one of their money makers, and now she's shelved. Same thing with Asuka. She's been clear for fucking ever, and you can't figure out a time to bring her back when the women's division
Bailey as
is
well.
suffering.
Isn't she clear now?
Yeah, so it's like the division is suffering right now. Like, what are we doing? Where are they? You really can't find anything fucking creative.
Bailey was just at either Alexa Bliss's wedding or Carmella's. I can't remember. They got married in the same fucking. They got married in the same fucking weekend. So inconvenient. If I was invited, I'd be like, "Fuck you."
Said fuck. Yeah, I don't know. Like when it comes like down to it with Alexa Bliss, I think WWE, they're going to make it right because they know that she is one of the most popular female wrestlers that they have. If you look back at, I think, a virtual meet and greet back in like 2020, they did this for SummerSlam weekend. She actually like cost the most, and she was the most requested actually out of everybody on the roster, which is absolutely insane.
But yeah, anyway, Roman Reigns, he was gone, you know, at the start of the pandemic or whatever, because his immune system's all fucked up because of the chemotherapy and all the cancer and shit, leukemia that he had. So he was out majority of the pandemic era. So the fact that Alexa Bliss was like the most requested superstar to, you know, get like one of those video chats or whatever, I'm sorry to say it's not really saying much.
But she is one of their most popular female wrestlers, though.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
Absolutely.
You bet your ass.
Kid friendly.
That's why I'm saying overall, like they're going to figure out a way, and they're going to. I think she's not leaving WWE.
Yeah, like I would hope she doesn't, because I feel like Alexa Bliss leaving WWE, she would get lost in the shuffle out there in the ocean of other female talents that are making big names for themselves out in the other circuits, especially, you know, Impact Wrestling. AEW's got a couple of talents that my eyes have been on for a while. You know, you got the girls out in New Japan. You got fucking NWA, which has some pretty big legendary names like Melina. You got, you know, she's going to be in a lot of competition outside of WWE. So I don't know. I hope that it works out for everybody in the long run, because she needs WWE as much as WWE needs her. If that makes any sense.
Here's what I think.
Yeah.
When it comes to like a female wrestler making a difference in like the AEW women's division, that's going to take that division to the next level.
Yeah.
It's going to be, there's only 4 options in my opinion.
Yes.
You have Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch,
Charlotte
Bayley,
Flair,
or Sasha Banks, because those four horsewomen are the most powerful women in wrestling. As much as I hate Charlotte Flair and I would not want to see her in AEW, it's the truth. They would be the only ones.
I want to see Charlotte Flair.
Oh my god.
I would like to see Alexa Bliss against somebody like Britt Baker.
Yes, absolutely. I feel like if anywhere she would thrive, it would be AEW. But I would want to see Charlotte Flair in New Japan. She could do a lot in New Japan because they push boundaries in Japan. There isn't really much that they, you know, cut off at. She would thrive in New Japan.
I hate to say this, but I kind of agree with you. That knowing that WWE,
you got me, Ben. You got me, bud. You got me.
But think about it. We all want Charlotte to somewhat change or whatever. Have this original gimmick, whatever. If she left WWE for any period of time, it would force her to
stand out
because WWE owns
Charlotte Flair.
She owns the whole gimmick, so it would force her to try other things out.
But here's
maybe
the thing.
It'll be beneficial.
But I'm sorry to burst your bubble here, Ben and Dan. But here's the thing. It's never going to happen.
I know. I'm just saying though, like, she would thrive in New Japan. I feel like she would do fantastic in New Japan.
she's going to be with WWE for her entire career.
I unfortunately agree. She's going to be another Undertaker case. Just very underwhelming, and I know that.
And then by the time her career's over, she'll win 30 friggin' championships.
No, well, I'm also talking in longevity with WWE because, Randy Orton never left and went to fucking another promotion and wrestle. Undertaker didn't either. Triple H didn't. You have all of these people that didn't do it, and she's going to be.
Guess what? Neither do the trash bags that are sitting in fucking catering waiting to be used, man.
So what? I'm just saying. But regardless,
But here's the thing. I feel like with all 4 horsewomen, I really don't see any of them leaving WWE.
I don't either.
I feel like they're really gonna ride it out to the end.
I feel like if there's anyone that would leave, it would definitely have to be Sasha Banks. Because she's starting to get more into acting and stuff like that. Then sooner or later she's gonna,
A lot of people that do make that shift into the big screen typically are a lot more open to working with different promotions because they're looking for new adventures. It coincides with an artistry. You're always looking for new shit.
She was on The Mandalorian on Disney Plus. She's done some other small bit parts or whatever. But I feel like if she ever did make the jump, make the leap or whatever, I'm not saying anytime soon, so nobody get their panties in a bunch. But if at some point she did want to go to AEW because of the she wants to be able to wrestle, but she wants that lighter schedule. That way she can work on things outside of pro wrestling, it would be AEW.
Yeah, but I feel like she's just too happy where she is right now. Every day on Twitter, she thanks Mr. McMahon for everything he does for her.
She's
a grade A ass kisser. That's why.
I literally just said not anytime
just like
soon.
Charlotte.
Yeah, but I literally said not anytime soon. At some point she may leave, but I didn't say anything.
I think I 100% agree with you. I think the odd one out of all of them would be Bayley. Because out of all of them, she's done the least amount in my eyes, like in terms of stupendency. She hasn't really had her moment yet, if that's what makes sense for me. Like she hasn't, for me personally. I'm not saying for fans out the world, but for me personally, with because everybody has that one moment, that one match, that holy fucking shit, the holy fucking shit moment. Everybody in the 4 Horsewomen has had that, except for Bayley for me.
Yeah, which obviously I see what you're saying here.
Yeah,
you're not counting NXT, which I respect.
No, yeah, NXT, that was a developmental thing. They had a lot more freedom to really figure out and stamp, kind of solidify who they are and who they want to be. But in terms of long-term career, like the WWE, the legendary, the powerhouse, their legacy that they're leaving behind, there isn't much from Bayley that I could say that was fucking memorable.
Yeah, and I feel like what doesn't help either is that unfortunately her really good SmackDown women's title reign that was for over a year was during the pandemic.
And dude, she's a phenomenal fucking heel, man.
And even a baby face. She was really good. I'm just glad she's away from the kid-friendly role model shit. I'm glad that she's able to have some versatility as a heel. I'm glad that her heel turn worked because she's great on the mic and she proved it apparently. I'm like, dude, heel Bayley all fucking day, dude. That's money.
Bayley was over as fuck when she was a babyface, though.
She reminds me in a lot of ways of a female MJF. Not in terms of as far as MJF, but in terms of personality and just smug.
She can get on your nerves, and I love it because the best thing about that is a lot of the female wrestlers will use their looks as a way to get the heat like Carmella does. But Bayley, on the other hand,
she uses her fucking mouth.
It's completely different, similar to Molly Holly and Ivory.
Yes, and I love it, and she's killing it, and that's why I'm saying, dude, that her repackaging was fantastic. It worked. She slayed the fucking work. You have fails like fucking Natalia Eva Marie, Natalie Eva Marie. She's fucking ridiculous. She's stupid. I hate it. I hated everything fucking about it. Her babyface work is trash. Her heel work was even more garbage and cringeworthy, especially that angle with Doudrop. What the fuck was that?
Where is Doudrop anyways?
She got beat the fuck up by Bianca Belair before Mania, and she got wiped off the map, man.
Damn.
Yeah.
She was picking up some momentum a little bit.
I want her to go back to being Piper Niven.
Piper Niven.
Yeah, she needs to be back. Piper Niven, 100%. Like, I think that would 100% be a done deal. She'd be a powerhouse of the women's division. She'd be another.
So here's what I say. I say, we talk about one more news thing, Dan, and then, we can get into the ladder stuff.
As far as news, man, because it's only Tuesday, it's very sparse.
I want to talk a little bit about Raw. Like, I do, because I do know some things, and there's a few angles that I do want to discuss before we get into the ladder stuff.
Austin Theory, well, now going by Theory, is the new United States champion.
They fucked Finn Balor yet again.
Yes, unfortunately they did.
Well, I'm happy that Theory has gold. Where I'm happy that he has gold, and he's basically being plastered as the next John Cena. I hate what they did to Finn Balor. I feel like it was too premature.
I would not call him the next John Cena. I would not reference him that. And I will not just call him Theory, man. When I think of Theory, I think of the fucking skate shop, okay? I don't think of Austin Theory.
I think of
Big Bang Theory.
I still call him Theory. But I for whatever reason, I did like this decision that they made. Because I feel like it'll legitimize the U.S. title again. It'll make it somewhat prestigious. It won't just be like
a random title again.
Especially because he has Vince McMahon wrapped around his finger.
I was extremely excited for the fact that, because I swore, dude, on Friday on SmackDown, I swore up and down. I was like, yeah, Jinder Mahal is going to take the title off of Ricochet. Ricochet ended up beating the hell out of him and retaining the Intercontinental Championship. I was extremely happy about that.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of the time,
to see what happens with Theory in the U.S. title.
Because a lot of the times it just seems like WWE doesn't want to push him, and then the last minute, man, they're like, yeah, you're going to win. So I like that. The main event, I liked it, but I didn't like how it kind of went down. Kevin Owens beat the holy fuck out of Cody Rhodes. I can't even remember if Cody Rhodes got any offense on. Cody Rhodes got his fucking ass demolished last night.
Oh, shit.
Did he win or lose?
He won because I think he did get an offensive move. He did a back body drop to Kevin Owens on the ring apron or whatever.
Yeah.
And Kevin Owens was selling it, and Seth Rollins obviously was out there because he's the one that picked Cody Rhodes' opponent. And I guess Seth Rollins called KO a fat ass. He didn't like that, so he walked away. So Cody won by a count out. But man, Cody got fucking demolished by Kevin Owens. Complete annihilation.
Oh, we know who the next opponent is.
Done.
We know who the next feud is.
Probably, man. But I didn't like the way they treated Cody Rhodes at all, man. I hate
Omos with MVP.
I actually like it a lot. I actually think that's a really good direction for him, especially the mouthpiece that they gave him is going to make him a threatening force.
100%. I'm giving Omos his last chance. But if him being with MVP is not going to make him better promo-wise or ring-wise, get the fucking guy out of here, man.
What about the most talked about WWE superstar, Veer Mahan?
He demolished some smaller dude, enhancement talent or whatever. And the dude got fucking stretchered out and put in an ambulance.
Poor guy.
I don't...
See, I like Veer Mahan. I like what he's shown so far in in-ring ability. I think I need to see a little bit more. I want to see him against a bigger superstar. I would like to see him eventually in a match with Drew McIntyre. I want to see him chiseled out a little bit more, through the ropes. And, then I believe that he could be an eventual top guy. Definitely believe that. Especially if you see stuff of him talking outside of WWE stuff and just him talking in general, he's a super intelligent guy. With some tweakage, I think he could be something pretty big for this company, with the right talent in the ring with him. I can see him in a match eventually with Bobby Lashley. I can see him in a match I can see him in a match again with, Drew McIntyre a little bit more eventual down the road. I'm interested in Veer Mahan. Ultimately.
And this motherfucker over here, man, he needs to stop trolling me about Veer Mahan never being on the main roster. It's starting to piss me off, you fucking asshole. But I said this the last night of my...
again?
Oh my fucking god. The fucking unibrow looking long haired motherfucker that's on SmackDown with Jinder Mahal.
Shaky.
Anyway.
Also, real quick, what about Ezekiel, not Elias?
I love it.
Dude,
I love it.
That was the best segment last night.
I loved it. And he passed with flying colors. I love Chad Gable was in it. I loved it. I loved everything about it. And Kevin Owens is just great.
And then Kevin Owens saying, "I'm not paying you."
Dude, I fucking love Kevin Owens. He's having a fun time. He's having a fun time, and that's good for KO, man. And he's got a killer deal ahead of him, so I'm excited.
I do feel like they have to bring Elias back at some point, though, right?
No, here's what I'm happy about with the whole Ezekiel thing. I don't like the name, but I will say I like how they're actually letting him speak on the mic. That's what I really thought wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, and I love that he was like, "Fucking, would you like to speak with Zeke?" Speak with Zeke instead of walk with Elias and speak with Zeke now, and I love it, dude. I love it. I love everything about the new rebranded Elias. I love it. I absolutely love it. I hope that we get
Stu Pickle is WWE.
Yes, I just hope that we get some, outfit tweakage, or at least different color, fucking spandex.
He looks too generic to me. Like he has a good build to it,
that's the problem.
Just like the elbow pads, knee pads, and wrestling trunks.
Give him darker colors. Give him some darker colors, like some blacks and reds. Like give him some darker colors, and I guarantee you'll be more with it.
Give him like a robe or something too.
I did like the Drifter Elias though. That's why I'm kind of like, dude.
That's like why that's why I was disappointed at first.
With them keeping like referencing Elias every week on TV, they have to at some point bring him back.
Eventually they're gonna bring that to light. I don't know.
What other superstar that has a rebranding, but yet they bring up his old gimmick who he used to be?
Here's what I'm hoping. Here's what I'm really hoping. They filmed some stuff like in advance before he like shaved the beard and stuff off. That like they do something on TV like,
and then do like a double.
You know why he was gone for so long, right? You know why he was gone for so long, right?
Why?
Because he shaved his head, and Vince McMahon he did it before he talked to Vince McMahon or whatever. Because Vince McMahon, I guess they talked to him about rebranding himself, so he shaved his fucking head, and he had to wait. He had to wait until his hair grew back. Notice his hair's not as long as it used to be.
That's an awesome vacation, though. Shit.
Vince McMahon was pissed. He almost fired him. He was pissed.
Yes. So anything else before we get into our topic for this week?
As far as this whole Veer Mahan thing, I really can't get behind it, man. Like, I said this last night on my stream, and it might be, a nitpicky thing to say or whatever. But a bigger guy destroying a smaller guy that's, maybe 6 foot tall, 175 pounds. I mean, that doesn't look menacing to me. It doesn't look like,
You want to put him up against somebody else.
When he can destroy somebody like Drew McIntyre or somebody like his size, I'll be like, dude, put that guy in the fucking main event scene.
But that's probably what they're building up towards. Like, you have to realize with all these big men, they have them destroy the little guys, and then eventually we're going to get handicapped.
And then they get destroyed by the big guys. Look at fucking Omos. He got destroyed at WrestleMania by fucking Bobby Lashley.
He fucking deserved to lose.
Okay, but it's the same fucking shit, man. It's the same shit. But I mean, having Veer Mahan destroy Rey Mysterio, destroying Dominic, and then destroying this enhancement.
He needs to beat the little guys, and then what's going to happen in a couple weeks? They're going to do 2-on-1 handicap matches, and Veer Mahan's going to fuck up those two people. After that, 3-on-1. Destroy those people, then he's going to get a Drew McIntyre, and then that's when you're going to be like, oh my god, he's a legitimate badass. They're exactly building him up just like they did with Ryback. Ryback, that's how they did it with him. Ryback, he had that match with Mark Henry at Mania.
I suppose.
And then that's when you were like, oh my god, Ryback, he's the next Goldberg.
He basically was, just more pissed off.
Who said that?
Apparently you did.
That's according to my authority.
Dude, me and Donnie didn't talk like that back then. We talked once in a while, but we never really talked about that much.
I heard you used to live next to me. I heard you scream when Ryback hit that finisher on Mark Henry.
On who?
On Mark Henry.
He was like, oh my god, he hit him. Did they even wrestle?
Yes, at WrestleMania 29. You watched it. I heard you. You screamed when he did that.
What year was that?
That was in 2014. Wait, 2013 or 2014.
Ben, you had to have been there then. Did we watch it?
No.
I can't remember.
But anything else now before we get into our ladder topic?
Not necessarily.
No.
I mean, unless you want to talk about the Sonya Deville, her fucking Bianca Belair getting fined $1 for putting her hands on Sonya Deville.
Can I just keep this really short and sweet with this whole Sonya Deville shit?
I think it's fucking idiotic, man. GM should not put themselves in title contender matches.
It's fucking dog shit. Sonya Deville, nobody's going to freaking get her over. I'm sorry with this whole GM gimmick thing. She has lots of potential. She's very talented. But her being with freaking Adam Pearce, the most generic fucking GM since what's his name from like 2008.
I like Adam Pearce.
Adam
Pearce. Adam Pearce is a babyface, though. I like him because he's even against Sonya Deville being.
I like Adam Pearce.
I hate the friggin' authorities.
I think
love Adam Pearce.
I think Steve Austin should be GM again.
He has no character.
I think
Adam Pearce.
I like Steve Austin should be GM. I liked him when he was the GM of Raw back in 2004 with Eric Bischoff.
Yes. Like, here's the thing. Like, I'd rather hear Vicky Guerrero every week yell, "Excuse me!" than
you killed that shit.
See friggin'
Yo!
Instead of hearing Adam Pearce just have his bald head looking friggin' generic as hell like 100 other wrestlers.
First of all, fuck you. I love Adam Pearce. Second of all, you nailed that fucking Vicky Guerrero fucking impression. You nailed it. Nailed it. Never heard a better one in my entire life, and that was like nonchalant as
Adam
fuck.
Pearce and Sonya Deville. I'm sorry, I will never.
I love them
be
both.
A fan
So
of this
you.
whole
I'm a fan.
Crap.
I'm a fan.
Back.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, but Sonya Deville. Apparently, the higher ups are
Jay's better than Jimmy.
She's under investigation for putting herself into these kind of situations.
Good. Get rid of her as GM. Just let her be a wrestler again. All right. So now, moving on to our topic for this week on the We Are Wrestling Talk Show. Since, we've been changing it up instead of doing just wrestling news now, we are doing actual wrestling topics. So before we, real quick, get into this topic here, let us know in the comment section below what you guys want us to talk about, because we are willing to talk about anything wrestling related. So if you guys want us to talk about something in particular, let us know in the comment section. But this week, we're going to be talking about the ladder match. One of the most famous, one of the fun gimmick matches in wrestling. There's been so many of them, over thousands of ladder matches, going from friggin' Scott Hall and Shawn Michaels at Razor versus Shawn, Mania 10, to now having a friggin' pay-per-view with ladders, TLC and Money in the Bank. And even having some amazing spots on AEW with Sammy Guevara and Cody Rhodes. That diamond cutter off the ladder. So I say, we can talk about... We'll obviously start it off with, what was some of your favorite ladder matches?
One of my favorite ladder matches, and, I guess I'm right for the age or whatever. I did not see, because obviously, when I was 7, back in the 90s or whatever, we didn't really have the internet. Not that I would have been able to use it anyway, being that age. So I didn't see the Shawn and Razor match until much later in my life. But one of my fondest memories, man, is watching No Mercy 1999, the tag team ladder match with the Hardys and Edge and Christian.
Oh, that shit was
to get the services of Terry Runnels, man. Such a great fucking match.
Those ladder matches that those 3 tag teams put on, man. Dudley's, Edge and Christian, Hardys. Wow.
And they were all fucking extreme,
One of my personal favorite tag team ladder matches of all time has got to be WrestleMania 17 with the 3-way ladder match. Edge and Christian,
TLC too,
Hardys,
man.
Dudley's, and then Edge friggin' speared Jeff Hardy off the friggin' thing when Hardy was holding the titles. One of the greatest spots in ladder match history.
Oh, 100.
I recommend, Ben, before you carry on, I recommend everybody that watches this, watch the brand new episode of Broken Skull Sessions with Bubba Ray Dudley, because he breaks down that entire match. The thought process going into it, I guess all three of the teams, they got into heated arguments the night before Mania or whatever because they couldn't agree on like how the match should go. Such a great interview, and he goes in length about talking about it. So, but anyway, continue.
One of my favorite matches like of all time, and it was just a fucking brutal match, and it really put this particular tag team over because it was for their titles back in 2007, and it was at the Armageddon pay-per-view, and it was originally supposed to be a ladder match between. It was supposed to be a match between London and Kendrick, who were the champions at the time, and William Regal and Dave Taylor. And eventually with Teddy Long, him being in the Christmas spirit, because he was, and by far, I'm a huge Teddy Long fan. I loved him as GM. Hell yeah, dude. Absolutely. But he came out and announced that it was going to be a ladder match, that he was adding 2 teams to the mix, and we got the return of Eminem, and we also got the Hardys added into the mix as well. And then turning it into a fucking ladder match on top of it, you knew it was going to be a fucking wild match, especially around 2006, the later Ruthless Aggression Era. Like, that was some prime fucking time to be a wrestling fan, dude. So you knew shit was going to pop off. But, with that match, it not only did it put over London and Kendrick as a solidified tag team, because not only did they win the match, but there was a lot of like chaos that was going on through it, a lot of great angles. There was a huge, almost career threatening, in almost like, I guess you could say daily life threatening injury with Joey Mercury that had occurred, where there was an angle
his face
in the corner.
Fucked up.
Yeah, there was an angle in the corner where Matt Hardy was going to hold both Joey Mercury and Johnny Nitro. Yep, and I think Matt had lined their faces up a little too late at the timing when Jeff took the jump, and he didn't have time to shield the blow, and it smacked him dead on right in the fucking face, busted him open. By the time he rolled out of the ring, which was instant, his eye was already swollen shut. I think he said in the beginning of things, when right after that had happened, he had lost almost like 70% of his vision in his left or right eye or something like that because of it. He had his face got shattered basically. Yeah, so he had to get reconstructive surgery. Can't take that many bumps anymore. Like, it's his career got cut short because of it.
It's really unfortunate because like MNM was going to make, this really interesting second run again as a tag team.
Do you know how different
different
John Morrison's career would have been if that didn't happen, though? And Matt said on his
never been tag team with The Miz.
Matt said on his podcast that it was Joey Mercury's fault.
Really?
Yeah, because he didn't get his arms up to block the blow or whatever, because he wasn't exactly sure what was going to happen. So I don't know, man. I do know Matt talked about it on his podcast and said that they went to the hospital that night to see him, and they stopped at CVS and got him get well cards.
Love the road stories. They're great.
It's nuts, man. That was a brutal fucking match. It put over these young guys like high over with the crowd winning that match, because like that they were in the ring with some legends. But also because of that night, it launched a serious singles run for John Morrison, and he's fucking huge now because of it. So it was an unfortunate blessing for him.
Yeah,
and let's not say, man.
I think a really good thing too about that ladder match was it really showed how scary a ladder match could be, and that's like the thing 100. About gimmick matches that nowadays we don't see. Like, it's like we think it's like pool noodles and shit nowadays.
Yeah, dude, if we saw that shit in WWE again, we'd be like, what the fuck? If you saw
something like that happening again, you'd be like, I don't want to be in a friggin' ladder match.
Yeah, that was it exhilarated us about it. We didn't want to be a part of it.
That's what's missing right now.
I feel like not only was that a blessing for John Morrison, who got to, have this awesome singles run, go for the Intercontinental Championship and everything, but also later on, it also was a blessing for Joey Mercury in a way.
Yes.
Because he had a good singles run when he came back. He had a good feud with Jeff Hardy or whatever, the playoff, the whole incident that happened. But also a couple years afterwards, he got to be in one hell of a spot with Triple H, Seth Rollins, you know what I mean? So So it also put him in maybe not the spot he
and
was in.
And he
was
actually
a
fought
producer for a
addiction
while
as well during this as well. He was having a lot of addiction problems, and
because of the painkillers and shit, because of his face, man.
Yep,
like I could understand.
I believe
he was able to fight his demons.
I believe he was going to lose his house, and I believe CM Punk gave him the entire money for his house, or whatever, so he could pay it off, so his house wouldn't get repossessed or something like that. I remember hearing that about something.
I do want to also acknowledge one of the accolades you didn't mention for John Morrison was the fact that he's also a former ECW world champion as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Though that's a great accolade to have.
No, don't discredit him.
Don't discredit him, man.
Don't do it. Don't
downplay on someone's accomplishment, dog.
Just because that ECW wasn't the same as freaking New Jack, freaking fans.
Yeah.
Do not take away what he did.
Just like giving the ECW title to Matt Hardy and then giving Jeff Hardy the WWE title.
That was
sort of a downgrade. Sort of a downgrade. Wasn't really crazy about that.
I thought it was sick.
One match that we really have to talk about. Now, it wasn't just a plain ladder match. It was a Money in the Bank match.
Okay.
But one of the most unique ones that we've ever seen, and that was the one from 2020 where they're at the WWE headquarters.
Yeah, that one.
Yes, that one. Oh my god, I don't know why. Like as a fan, I marked the hell out when that got announced. Like
I mean,
you can tell this pre-tape at the top of the freaking.
It's so kind of sick though.
Of Stafford. Stanford.
And Otis took the victory on that, which, I feel like that was like the stepping stone for Otis to propel himself to where he is now.
It definitely launched him in like a serious singles factor, but it made no sense taking it off of him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it really didn't.
But I know though.
It was a really fun match. My favorite part of that match was where they were in Vince McMahon's office or whatever, and he was telling him, "Get the hell out."
Yeah, that shit was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an interesting match for sure.
So speaking of Money in the Bank, what would be one of your favorite Money in the Bank ladder matches? Since you just started talking about that 2021.
I really liked the first one, which I think was in 2006 or 2007.
2005.
Jeff Hardy did the ladder spot or whatever when Jeff Hardy came back. He did the ladder spot and he fucking jumped off the ladder and fucking went through. That was the first time anybody went through a ladder. I think the Edge and Jeff Hardy spot.
I believe
that was like 2011 or 2009.
Nope. So here's the thing. So
that was like 2007.
That one wasn't the first Money in the Bank ladder match.
No.
That was the third.
No, that one was WrestleMania 21, right?
WrestleMania 21 was in 2005. That was the first one.
Yeah.
Then in 2006, RVD won, and then it was Mr. Kennedy at 23.
Yeah. Well, anyway, man, just because that was a huge spot.
That was one of my favorites. That was my favorite too.
Still, everybody talks about it. You know what I mean? And that has to be like one of the most memorable, like older ones or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I gotta agree with you.
There's so much wrestling to digest or whatever. You're not going to be able to get everything. But just the fact that this many years after it happened, you still have that memory. Like you can see it in your fucking head. Like Jeff Hardy just flying off, doing the Hardy guns, and then just flying off, doing like a leg drop through the ladder to Edge. I mean, it was
exhilarating.
Yeah, when it comes to the Money in the Bank ladder match, a couple of them that really stand out to me was the one that The Miz won back in, I believe it was 2010. I also really liked Seth Rollins when he won the Money in the Bank match. Him and Dean Ambrose.
His cash-in was legendary. His cash-in was legendary, just like Edge's was with Cena back in fucking New Year's Revolution 2006. That shit was legendary.
Yeah, but here's the thing. But when it comes down to it, my favorite Money in the Bank ladder match has got to be probably, I want to say WrestleMania 24. That one was a fun ladder match. I really liked the spot with John Morrison doing the backflip with the ladder. I thought that was cool. Shelton Benjamin looked really good in that ladder.
Yes.
When he jumped off that like 30-foot ladder, that was a freaking awesome spot.
Dude, that shit was lit.
CM Punk won that as well, which really took his career to the next level. I really enjoyed WrestleMania 24. That ladder match.
It's hard to believe that Money in the Bank has been around this long. You know what I mean?
I love it. Such a fun.
I love it. It's a great concept.
It makes you want to watch Raw and SmackDown.
I do feel like it's kind of
when the guy's gonna cash in.
I do feel like it's kind of like the hype for it or whatever, and the build for it has died out over the last couple of years. I just don't think WWE puts that much effort into the Money in the Bank shows anymore, or ladder matches or whatever. I feel like those every year at WrestleMania there should be a Money in the Bank ladder match, because I mean that's like the show of shows. You know what I mean?
Yes, I agree.
I do miss Mania with the Money in the Banks. Those were fun.
I mean, absolutely. you get a new number one contender. You get, a new champion or a remaining champion.
Makes it fun.
Yeah, so when it comes down to, like, the Money in the Bank, I feel like, literally, like, every pay-per... Like, it's never going to go away, because every pay-per-view at Money in the Bank always has that oh my god match. Like CM Punk versus John Cena in Chicago, when CM Punk won the WWE Championship, when his contract ran out back in 2011. Like, they always just have some type of match that makes you go, oh my god. And then we talk about it for years.
Yeah, I suppose. I am kind of intrigued because I believe, from what I've heard, I don't know if this has been confirmed or not, but I heard this year's Money in the Bank show is going to be taking place in Saudi Arabia.
Interesting.
Wait, I thought that was TLC that was being taken place.
Was it TLC?
I think you got your fucking facts wrong.
Why?
Damn.
Ladder matches and fucking Money in the Bank, motherfucker. Okay.
EW Mark.
What is some type of ladder match? You are right on that.
Well, either way, I'm looking forward to seeing that.
All right. So with Money in the Bank, just overall, obviously, I know you were talking about how you feel like it should be just a WrestleMania thing, and I agree with you on that.
100%. It brought more stardom to the show and made it stand out from the rest, because they're just taking great concepts and milking them out. It's becoming something that's just more done and not exciting anymore. We used to have a million things we were excited about, but now we're only down to WrestleMania and the Royal Rumble.
And that's the thing, like, it also fills up, like, Mania. You always want to get your favorite guys on the card. They try to get everybody on the card nowadays. That's a great way to friggin' fill up 8 people.
What they need to do is go back to the mature route, bring back No Mercy, Bad Blood, regular Backlash, Vengeance, Armageddon, Judgment Day. You need to bring those
Backlash, not back. WrestleMania Backlash.
That's what I said. Backlash. Yeah.
I know we're talking about, Money in the Bank and ladder matches and stuff like that, but can we just sit here and appreciate the Hell in the Cell match from 2000, man? Undertaker chokeslams Rikishi into the bed of that fucking truck.
We can't right now because this is a ladder topic, not friggin' Hell in the Cell.
I just gotta appreciate it, man. You gotta appreciate moments like that because we'll never ever see.
Remember when Dominic Mysterio was Eddie Guerrero's love child?
Yes, the custody for Dominic ladder match. That's one of my favorites.
That was lit. Yes. SummerSlam 2005, bro.
Storyline, the summer of 2005, man. That storyline with Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio.
That was a great show in general, man. Especially with HBK and Hogan. Like, that was a great show in general. Chris Jericho and Cena.
Match for Dominic. Wow.
Yeah, dude, that was a great fucking match. That was back before Dominic Mysterio made his debut in 2020.
That was only a couple months before he passed away.
Yeah, it was.
He passed away November 2005.
Yeah, I remember crying. I remember crying for my birthday. It was a sad November, but it was a memorable ladder match, man, and that was like some great heat. That's back when vignettes were still a thing.
Yes, with the Park, Eddie Guerrero in the Park.
Yeah, back when vignettes were the thing,
Dominic.
Man.
Dude, Dominic looks the same.
I'm your puppy! I love that shit, dude. I had one of those shirts.
Yes,
Dominic looks the same. He just looks taller.
I'm your puppy. Yeah, dude. Taller, and he has a mullet.
Yep.
You know why he has a mullet, right?
Why?
In honor of Eddie.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
One of my favorite ladder matches that, like, I also enjoyed, too... Definitely, like, even though, like, I didn't watch wrestling, obviously, at the time, because I wasn't even born, it has to be WrestleMania 10. Like, that's always been an iconic match with Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels.
Yeah. I think a smaller one, a smaller scope. Oh, wait, continue, Dan, if you're going to pitch into that one.
I was going to say, that's definitely a match that's, like, probably in, like, everybody's, like, top 5 or at least top 10 for those of you, for people that are like casual fans, but not like everyday fans or whatever. I enjoyed it for what it was. I remember Razor Ramon was wearing like fucking like purple and orange or something like that. He had some kind of like weird color scheme on like his trunks and stuff like that.
Yeah, he had like I know he had the gold during that. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, but to mention a smaller match because it was on SmackDown, I believe. And it was around 2003, and it was actually the stamp of approval from The Undertaker to Jeff Hardy in a ladder match.
Raw. That was Raw.
It was Raw. That's right, Raw. Sorry, my bad. And it was actually Jeff Hardy's stamp of approval from The Undertaker, and it was during a ladder match, which I believe Undertaker won, but still got the stamp of approval to Jeff there. That was actually a good moment for his career, too, and that elevated him as a top player in Undertaker's eyes as well.
It was for the Undisputed Championship.
But it obviously didn't help either that Jeff Hardy had the demons.
No, but to have the respect of the Undertaker is a big thing being a young guy like Jeff.
Period.
That is a career moving moment in itself because that's moving the needle right there.
I just realized that 98% of the like big time ladder matches that we're all talking about or whatever, the Hardys or Jeff in particular, because he was always been known as the ladder guy. He took part in like 98% of them, I feel like.
Because I was actually going to mention a small one. Raw 2006 or 2007, Jeff Hardy versus John Morrison for the Intercontinental title.
And then
that was a great match. That was a great match.
Yes.
And then in 2002, Raw, RVD versus Jeff Hardy in a ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship.
Those matches were phenomenal, and Jeff Hardy was involved in both. Jeff was the champion at the time. And it was a fun time, man. And that's when John Morrison came out with his John Morrison gimmick for the first time ever. And that's the staple that he still has to this day.
That was in 2006, 2007 when Jeff first came back. Because you remember he went away into
Intercontinental Championship.
Yep.
And I believe that was John Morrison and Jeff Hardy's first match together.
And that was John Morrison's like time where he first came out as John Morrison. And he was like,
no, he was still... Around
he
that
debuted.
Time, I thought he was still Johnny
He
Nitro.
debuted the John Morrison gimmick in
that
ECW.
Was in ECW.
That's right. Okay, so yeah, he was still Johnny Nitro at the time, but he was becoming John. Yeah, and he was becoming more of the John Morrison we know because he had more, microphone presence. He had more stage charisma. It was great. That they both, being the talents that they are, provided an amazing ladder match on a fucking Monday Night Raw episode.
Yeah. So speaking of ladder matches, another one I say we definitely talk about, since we already talked about Money in the Bank, the TLC, tables, ladders, and chairs. Very iconic.
Oh my. Well, which one are we talking about? Are we talking about WrestleMania 17? Or are we going to be talking about the very first one from SummerSlam 2000?
Hey, whichever ones, stand out to us, man.
See, shockingly, I'm not very familiar with a lot of the TLC matches. Shockingly, I was more of the hardcore matches, the no holds barred matches, the I quit matches. I was more of that guy. But I'll let you totally discuss it for sure, and I'll definitely chime in.
A lot of the older TLC matches took place like in the 2000, 2001 or whatever. You didn't become like a really major fan until like the Ruthless Aggression Era.
Me? I was watching since the Attitude Era. It's just the Ruthless Aggression Era is the one that I'm the fan of the most.
Yeah, that's the one that's the era that you like the most, whatever. That's what I just said. Yeah. I liked the very first TLC match because it was the very first one.
I found a good one.
All right. I liked the very first TLC match. And it was in the Hardys' hometown, man. Everybody assumed the Hardys was gonna win. It was in Raleigh, North Carolina, 2000 SummerSlam. That entire match, that entire card alone was a fucking great SummerSlam if you go back and watch some of the matches. But that was the first, I believe that was, because before that match, we had tables matches with the Hardys and Dudleys. We had tag team ladder matches with Edge and Christian, the Hardys. But this is the first match, I believe, to where they were all together.
Yeah.
Actually, no, that's a lie. The Triangle Ladder match, WrestleMania 2000. That was the very first one. This is the second match that they had all together. And it was phenomenal. I mean, you saw Jeff do a swanton or whatever, but he went to do it on Bubba Ray Dudley again like he did at WrestleMania 2000. Bubba Ray ends up moving, and Jeff just fucking annihilates the table, landing. And then somehow, later in the match, he still gets up and tries to climb up the ladder. So many great moments.
You know what I find crazy about all those, like, the trio, like, ladder TLC matches that they had? There was always different spots. They always came up with such incredible spots, which were amazing.
I hate to say, I don't think none of them would be as popular today if it wasn't for those matches or whatever, because it really showcased their ability, showcased what they can do, and what they're capable of doing in the ring.
Yeah, so now a couple that really stand out to me that I want to talk about is Ruthless Aggression Era. This one in particular was at, I believe, Unforgiven 2006. It was a TLC match between Edge and John Cena. That was after their match at SummerSlam.
Yeah, that was I believe that was the same show
in Canada.
That was the same show that Trish Stratus retired. That was her last match or whatever. John Cena ended up winning, I think.
Yes, because for me, like one of my favorite spots during that match,
he did the F5. He did
the FU to Edge off the friggin' ladder. I thought that was amazing.
Yep, and that was around the time to where John Cena and Edge were having a killer feud, and I remember on Monday Night Raw, whatever, leading up to that match, Edge showed up at Cena's dad's house and smacked him in the face and went through.
I do remember that. I remember that. That was a fantastic
time. What about the time when John Cena threw Edge over the friggin' bridge? Remember that into the water?
Right into the sound. Right into the New York sound.
The Long Island sound.
Lucky.
Dude, if I ever go to Long Island, New York, man, I definitely want to go to that area and see where that segment took place.
Yeah, so now another underrated ladder match or TLC match, I think, that this is the one that I had a shocked face like looking up to make sure it was a TLC match that really stands out to me, and I might have to watch it as soon as we're done recording this.
Yeah.
It was a 6-man tag team match, TLC match. We had Team Hell No and Ryback versus The Shield. This was around the time when The Shield first came into WWE. This is when, everybody was trying to, beat The Shield, but they were too dominant. And this was, I think, this was their first pay-per-view match, actually.
It wasn't in the Ruthless Aggression Era.
No, I know this was PG.
Yeah, the Ruthless Aggression Era ended in like 06 or 07. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I don't really remember it. I wasn't watching because I got out of wrestling for a long time because there was nothing. There was nothing interesting that I really wanted to see, so I don't think I've ever watched that.
Yeah, when the Shield first came to WWE, that's some stuff you definitely got to look back at. Such good stuff.
I'll definitely go back and look it up.
They were putting on really good 6-man tag matches, like to build the Shield up. They were having them go against these dominant dream teams, and they would basically beat them, which would lead into their.
Did you know the Shield? The Shield got brought into the main roster from NXT. Because WWE wanted them to be the bodyguards of CM Punk.
Yep. I do. But there's so many iconic moments with TLC and WWE in general with the ladder matches. But now I want to talk about something that's very underrated that, involves a ladder that I feel like you guys probably aren't even thinking about. One fun gimmick match that had a ladder that really stood out to me was the early days of TNA wrestling, King of the Mountain match.
No, nothing of it.
I would have to go back and watch it. I got out of NXT and TNA for a long time too.
No, this is TNA back in I believe it was 2005. They did this until 2009.
It's been a while, man.
They would have it at Slammiversary every year. It would be basically you would have 5 or 6 people you wrestle. If a wrestler gets a pin on somebody, that person that gets pinned has to go into the penalty box for 2 minutes, and then that person is eligible to take the championship and hang it up on the thing. And whoever got up the ladder, the mountain, and held the championship, or would put the title on the hanger, would win the match.
Huh.
I'll definitely have to go back and watch it.
That's I'm telling you, that's a lot of people say a lot of the TNA gimmick matches were very dumb, but the King of the Mountain one for me, I really enjoyed as a kid.
Well, you see, when it comes to TNA and stuff like that, and even WWE, I didn't get to watch a lot of the pay-per-views or whatever because like it'd be like $50-$60 every single month. I wouldn't be able to afford that at the time. So it wasn't until the WWE Network that I actually got to, sit back and enjoy like all the old pay-per-views and what I remember. So I didn't watch any. I don't think I've ever seen a TNA pay-per-view ever.
Yeah, there are definitely some on YouTube that you definitely got to go back and check out.
I
Because for
definitely
me, like
will.
besides Ultimate X, like King of the Mountain was one of, for me, the most underrated yet fun matches that they would have at Slammiversary. So many iconic moments that they had, like one with Jeff Jarrett, or Larry Zbyszko screws Raven, and then Jeff Jarrett climbs up the ladder with the title, and everybody's throwing trash at him. Also, the time where Samoa Joe joins the main event Mafia and helps Angle win that match with the whole Nation of Violence character. So many awesome moments with that. I just wanted to bring that up since we're talking about
what stable I really
ladders.
liked in NXT or TNA, sorry. Aces and Eights, the biker. They were it's almost like
Yes, a
Sons
lot
of
of people
Anarchy.
hate on that. I don't know why.
I enjoyed it for what it was. It was kind of corny, but they were pretty cool.
Yeah, especially like when I liked how they actually took the time to really build Bully Ray being the leader of it.
Yeah. I guess
I
grew up in a biker family. Like my mom was a biker, my dad, I would be fucking 5 years old. My mom and dad would take me to biker bars or whatever. That's the scene I grew up in, so I kind of had that kind of a appreciation for it because I grew up around it,
Yeah. Now, another ladder match that stands out to me outside of WWE that I definitely, if you guys have seen this match or not, Sammy Guevara versus Cody.
That was a killer match, man.
Yeah, awesome was. That diamond cutter off the ladder.
Oh, yeah.
That was a great way for Cody to put Sammy over.
Yeah, and Cody left shortly after, I believe.
Yeah. And one of the ladder matches, definitely too, that stand out to me is the Face of the Revolution matches that they do every at AEW Revolution. How they have that brass ring they hang up, and
this year was the first one I saw because, like I said, I didn't start watching AEW until September of last year. So there's so much AEW I've never fucking seen, believe it or not.
Yeah, hey, that's the great thing about nowadays you can look up any of this stuff on YouTube.
I would do a bunch of reactions and stuff, but AEW, does not like, I don't know what it is with wrestling companies, but
I don't know either, man. It's
nuts. It is nuts, man.
Yeah. So, anything else before we close this week's episode?
I got nothing.
I think we covered everything, man.
Yeah, so if you guys, let us know in the comment section below what your guys' favorite ladder matches were, because there's been over hundreds of them. I think we definitely covered some of the great ones, some of the underrated ones, and even some underrated gimmick ladder matches as well. So let us know in the comment section below what you guys think, like what your favorite ladder matches were, because I know for me, I will definitely say those TLC ones with Hardy's, Edge, Christian, Douglas.
Absolutely.
So do you guys agree that's probably your favorite?
100.
Yeah, so if you guys enjoyed this week's episode of the We Are Wrestling Talk Show, make sure to smash that like button now. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, the best way to support this channel and support us is by hitting that subscribe button now, turning on the post notifications. The links are down in the description below. You can go follow Danny over on his social medias and his 2 YouTube channels. He does reactions on the new channel, Danny Huckins, which definitely help him get those subs back up. YouTube took down his original YouTube channel with over 2,000 subs, so we want to get Danny back up there. Also, you can go check out his watch-alongs that he does live. Wrestling watch-alongs, Raw, sometimes NXT, SmackDown, AEW, pay-per-views. Danny does it all over on Danny H Vlogs. Go check that out. All the links are down below. Also, go support our buddy Ben, who has been on the We Are Wrestling Talk Show. He'll be doing more stuff on here. You can go subscribe over to his reaction channel as well, and their podcast as well, the 2 Sticks and Pure Rage. The links are all down in the description below. And of course, if you want to support the best one himself, you can go subscribe over to my 2 channels. I have a basketball channel, DBTV. Right now at the playoffs, there's lots of videos going up on there. You can go check that out. Or even Best One Network, where I make videos with my friends. We do vlogs. We do all different types of videos on there. Like I said before, all the links are down in the description below. But to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, we are taking over. And one surprise before we say peace. We'll be doing a wrestling vlog. We are going to Northeast Wrestling tomorrow for some wrestling. We have the Hardys, Killer Cross, Scarlett, also John Morrison as well, and Malachi Black, can't forget him.
Hell no,
There's going to be vlogs all around for that show, so definitely want to stay tuned for that. And of course, you already know, the grind is real. Peace.